All right, our next safety video of setting up your lifts, now looking at your upper body. When it comes to protecting your shoulders, which again, if it's an upper body movement, the shoulders are going to be involved somehow, whether it's a press, whether it's a pull, again, rows, anything with the upper body, we got to control the position of the shoulders. So what is the anchor to the shoulder position? Well, if I turn my scapula, so these bones right here, you know, kind of your winging out bones, that is going to be the foundation for the rotator cuff and other muscles that work to supply the foundation to your shoulders. So if I'm going to do, let's say, like a bench press, any kind of press, I don't let the shoulders come forward. We're going to lock in those shoulders. So there's two primary directions. There's going to be horizontally, so if you look at me this way, pulling my shoulder blades together. And then the other is going to be in the vertical plane where we actually pull my shoulders back and down. So this downward motion is going to come from the lats. So again, in my training, when it comes to upper body work, we're going to focus a lot on what are called the rhomboids. Those are the muscles that pull the shoulder blades together. And then the lats that lock it in down. So when you think of posture, what are we constantly doing? People are constantly hunched over and they're constantly tight in the traps. When we're stressed out, we're like this. So we want to drop the shoulders down, which again is activation of those lats. And we're going to go from this forward position. Again, everyone's here on their phones, shoulders are constantly forward. And if you've been working out a lot at home, you're doing a lot of push-ups, you're doing a lot of things where everything is coming forward, which then leads to shoulder pain because your bicep tendon runs through here. Plus, we're constantly curling and working here. Everything is bringing us forward. So what do we got to do? We got to bring everything back, which is bringing those shoulder blades together, which is your rhomboids. Okay, so if just like we talked about the pelvis controlling your motion in lower body exercises, it's going to be your position of your scapula coming back and down to lock in so that my presses are here. You can see this doesn't look very strong and I'm going to hurt my shoulder. Shoulders back and down. Now I'm driving, this is where we're strong. So it actually starts from the lat and then we press by extending the elbow from the tricep. Now, if I'm doing a vertical, again, I wouldn't shrug, so I lock in. I want you to see this motion here is completely independent from here. If I'm raising my arm to the side, the work of the deltoid to raise the shoulder is completely independent from my traps that pull me up and my lats that pull me down. So imagine if I'm raising, but I'm shrugging at the same time, which is what a lot of people do, and they wonder why they carry so much tension here and they're starting to hurt their shoulders. Plus, because you're not using the right muscles, you're actually not getting as good development. So even though if I tell you to go do dumbbell raises and you do your 3 sets of 10, not all 3 sets of 10 are equal. So if I'm doing this, I'm really not using the deltoid as much as if I lock in and now I'm here. You can see the difference in the position. If I use the exact same weight, the deltoid's going to get more work, i.e. it's going to get better development. So learn how to control your shoulders up and down as well as forward and back. So if I'm sideways, forward and back. Notice I'm not doing anything with the arm. It's just pressing forward and pulling back. But as I pull back, it's really my shoulder blades that come back together. When people bring the shoulder blades back together, they also like to shrug, which is why I always say back and down. It's like I'm just taking my shoulders and I'm putting them in my back pockets. This is where we want to be. Now, when I gave all the back explanations, right, the universal back principles, hooking the hands, pulling from the elbows, not from the bicep, but what's the start? Setting the shoulders. So we set the shoulders, we do our pull, we stay tight, because remember, this is trying to pull me apart. I stay tight. Once my arms are straight, then I release because I actually want to work these muscles. But in a press, bench press, shoulder press, whether it's horizontal plane, vertical plane, doesn't matter. I'm not pressing and then bringing my shoulders forward. They just stay back the entire time. The key is lock it in. Now, here's the secondary thing. I'm talking about upper body exercises and the importance of the shoulder scapula position, but it's also important even for some of your lower body exercises. If I'm doing a squat, I've got a barbell on my shoulders. It's not just resting there. This is where a lot of trainers don't understand this, therefore they don't explain it. I am literally pulling the bar into me like a lat pull. Why? Because I want those lats engaged, because it's the lat position that locks in my thoracic spine. If you do this little experiment, if you stand up, you lock in your lats as hard as you can. Now try to round your spine. Nothing happens. The only way for me to be able to bend my thoracic spine is for me to let my lats go. See, now I can bend right here. So if I'm locked in, there's no bend. If I relax, now I can bend. So if I'm squatting and my lats aren't locked in, guess what? This is weak. And how many times have you done this or seen people at the gym? They squat heavyweight, they're down here, and all of a sudden, oh crap, and they do this, and their upper back starts to round. And now they're doing one of these, or they just collapse. It's because they were never taught how to lock in the lats. If my lats are locked in, I've pulled the bar into my shoulders, and as I squat, again, this is not happening. This is locked in. So again, if my pelvis position is good, my lat position is good, my thoracic spine's locked in, now my spine moves like a 2x4. It doesn't round because my lats are doing their job correctly. So for upper body, again, shoulder blades back and down, but the same thing holds true in your lower body. So with these two videos, again, pelvis control, scapula control. If you can control those two parts of your body, 95% of all exercises will be done correctly with the correct form. And we only need to do minor tweaks. Again, elbow position, knee position, ankle position. Other than that, you've got the basis down to know how to be safe and how to increase your gains, because when you're in the right position and your body feels strong, your brain goes, yes, I like this, I'll support it, I will let you do more. If you're like a wet noodle trying to squat or bench or do anything, the brain's gonna go, that doesn't feel very good, I feel compromised, it feels unstable. So what does the brain do? Let's shut it down. Your muscles will literally go weaker because your brain and your nervous system isn't supporting it. Thus, you will not be able to lift heavier weights and you will not get the same stimulus for the growth that you're looking for. Control your pelvis, control your scapula, and you will be on your way of having much better lifts in the gym, and you'll be much more safe.